live now.
Oh, so we're going a half hour, maybe?
Yes, ma'am. It's no time limit, but we have to go live now.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm getting a notification. Okay. And boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an amazing guest with us, one who I'm very humbled would take time out of her busy schedule to come give us some information as well as some inspiration on her great business and her life journey. And that is none other than Sister Shikhana Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well by Allah's grace and mercy. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine as well. Well, the first thing we want to know is you have, been putting work in the nation for quite some time. But how did you get into the business of ice cream and parlors, and how did that come about?
Well, I guess I should start with the foundation. And the foundation is my mother and my father were in the first with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they had their own businesses because, of course, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said do for self. So they had their own children's clothing store and things of that nature. So it pretty much was kind of, instilled in us to do for self and produce some type of business that, you can benefit and it can benefit our community. So I think the beginning of it all starts with my mom and my dad, and they were from Cleveland, Ohio, and that's where I'm from as well.
Hey, praise be to Allah. And what are your parents' names, ma'am?
My mom, Sister Doris Muhammad, and my father was Sharif.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Excellent. And my sisters Miriam and Naima both send the greetings, and another sister Naima says walaikum salam. Well. Naima, can you share it for me so I can share it on my personal page? Okay, boom. My next question for you is, so that's the foundation. Okay, now you fast forward from your parents. I didn't know you were second generation. Okay, but then you fast forward now. How do you get into business in Jersey?
Well, my background as far as I guess working, I'm in the field. I've been in the field of education for over 20 something years now. So I have my undergrad in education and my master's degree in education as well as an English major. So that's my background as far as, the working world. We opened up in 2017, the Salaam Ice Cream Parolor, and it pretty much it wasn't anything that was planned, but we were driving, my mom was driving down the street one day in our neighborhood, and she's like, it's a place across the street that's empty. It has a for rent sign on it. Do you all want to open up a business? Talking to myself and my sister, my younger sister, Kushanda. And we were like, sure. So we didn't know what we were going to open up. So we thought about ice cream. We're like, okay, well, ice cream, because usually when we want ice cream, my husband and I would travel maybe about 15 miles or so to another area to get ice cream because there aren't any ice cream parlors in our neighborhood. So I said, it's ridiculous that we don't have an ice cream parlor in our neighborhood and we have to travel that far to get some. So we were like, okay, let's open up an ice cream parlor. We went to work kind of studying, like what equipment would you need, all the things that entail to opening up an ice cream parlor. The temperature of the ice cream and all of those things. And so we opened up in 2017, and thank Allah, for his grace and his mercy, we're still here.
Beautiful. And when you say here, where are you located so people can support?
We're located at 1024 Bergen Street, and that's in Newark, New Jersey. It's the South Ward of Newark.
Okay, excellent, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And what type of ice cream do you all sell?
We have 24 different flavors. We have all our ice cream. We specialize in kosher ice cream, non-GMO, of course. And we have some vegan options because that was a popular request from a lot of our customers. So we brought in the vegan options. And we also have sugar-free, which was a request of a lot of our customers as well. So we have 24 different flavors. And we also specialize in baked goods as well, Joshua. We have our supreme, I don't want to say supreme, but it's called Salaam Bean Pie. That's our number one seller in an ice cream parlor. But of course, because we're Muslims, they know bean pie. And we also have cakes and pies that we sell along with the ice cream. So it's your one-stop sweet shop.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And my mother had the pleasure of stopping by and telling me how good everything was.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And what has been the most profound memory that you have of as far as your customers is coming in, like in your business? What's the best thing that your best engagement with your customers? Is it their excitement about the ice cream, the bean pie? What's going on?
Well, definitely excitement of coming in. A lot of our customers come in and they say, is this Newark? Because they're surprised to see something so nice in our neighborhood, which is kind of sad to say, but they are. Probably one of the most exciting moments that I had was when a mother came in with her son, and he probably was maybe around, I don't know, maybe about 8 or 9 years old. And she said, tell her why we're here. And so he said, because I love ice cream, and I want to have an ice cream shop too. And so we talked for a little bit. So it was just very, inspiring to hear the young man say that he wanted to open up an ice cream parlor as well. So I talked to him a little bit about it. And that's what I kind of see a lot of our customers coming in. A lot of them are inspired, number one, to see someone that looks like them in the neighborhood giving something to our community that's a good product. And it's not a hole in a wall, but it's something that's beautiful that they can bring their families to as well. So I guess that probably was one of the highlights of being here. I don't know, the excitement doesn't just come from the children, because I think sometimes the adults are more excited to come in the ice cream parlor than the children. And sometimes the firemen who are 2 doors down from us, they're like our number one customers as well. When they come in, they make their orders, and one of them asks for sprinkles on his ice cream, and the other one looks at him like, what? But it's all good. The ice cream brings you to a place of your childhood memories. So that's the blessing in seeing that, and our people's faces light up as they come in every day.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And a lot of people are showing you love. My sister Mimi wants to know, how can people out of town donate to support your business?
How many people?
No, how can people who are out of town donate to support your business?
I just recently did a posting to our customers, just asking them to remember that we're here because during this pandemic, we were closed down for 3 months, and then we reopened. And just reminding them to come out and support Black business so that we can stay in the community. So when I did that posting, I did get a overwhelmingly large request, which is beautiful. I'm very thankful to Allah that a lot of people were asking that same question. I don't have anything set up, for it, because I really was just encouraging people to come to the ice cream parlor. I just wanted them to not forget that we were here. Come get your pint of ice cream to go. But if someone from out of town would like to give a donation towards the ice cream parlor, they can go on my Cash App, which is Shikhana McKnight. And that's spelled my first name, Shikhana, Shikhana, and McKnight, McKnight. Thank you for that question.
Okay, excellent. And thank you for that question, Mimi. Okay, wonderful. My next question is, since you're second generation Muslim, how did you get found in the nation this time?
Well, I should have started off saying thank you to you, Josh. Joshua, because no, honestly, I know we had our phone conversation briefly. I was saying thank you, for this podcast, because when I do get the moment to sit down and just relax for a minute, I listen to it, and you bring a lot of our historians from the Nation of Islam, a lot of history, a lot of background. You make people real to others, where you usually see us and we see us from a distance. You make the person, okay, now I really see this person. So thank you for, allowing me the opportunity to come on to your podcast. I know you have been asking, and I'm like, no, because I really, really don't like doing, I don't like to be on camera and interviews and stuff like that, but I've been doing it more since we opened up the Salaam Ice Cream Parlor, because my mom recently transitioned, and so the business is just left with myself and my sister and my daughters, of course. But my sister is the one that's always behind the scene, and she would dare not come in front of a camera unless the minister said come in front of the camera. So that pretty much leaves me to be the face of the business. So, again, going back history wise, how did I become, you said second generation? Because of course my parents were in the first. And then again, the concept of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, do for self. And my mother and my father raised us. They had 9 children. It's 9 of us. So it's 4 boys. So it was never a dull moment in our house. But my mother raised us knowing that we were Muslims, but we never went to the mosque up until I was about 15 years old. And what my mother did to kind of influence us to come to the mosque was she would pay us. It's sad to say, I'm ashamed to say it, but it's the truth. She would pay us to sit down and listen to lectures of the minister, my brothers and my sister and I. And we got to listening to the minister, and then she wouldn't have to pay us anymore, because once she got us to listen to him the first or second time, that was it. We were drawn into the message, and we would be inviting our friends over. My brothers would take the tapes, the VHS tapes at that time, over to their friend's house, and they would share it with them. So we came in the mosque in Cleveland, Ohio. It was a young mosque, and the minister at that time in Cleveland was Brother Roland Muhammad. And he had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's economic blueprint pretty much down packed. We owned our own, we purchased our own mosque. We owned it outright. We had 2 restaurants. We had our own bakery. We had a barber shop. We had a plaza where there were Muslims just, employed in the plaza at the different stores. So again, that concept of do for self has always been there, but it was just a matter of when were you going to actually bring it about, in this time. So I hope did I answer your question? I'm not good at this.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. No, I'm saying, okay, so how did you so you came in Cleveland, like what time period? Like were you grown? Like what made you excited?
No, I wasn't grown. I was 15 years old when I came in the mosque.
15. Okay.
Yeah, 15 years old and registered at that time, along with my brothers and sisters. They were young as well. My brother Sharif was like the youngest assistant minister in the mosque in Cleveland. He was only 16. No, he was 14 at the time. My brother Shaw was the captain of Cleveland, and I think he was 17 at the time. So we just, it was just a mosque full of young people, and it was beautiful. It really was. So that was the beginning of my journey in the Nation of Islam. It began in Cleveland, Ohio.
Praise be to Allah. And the video of the sisters, drilling in purple when we were younger, we used to watch it. I never knew that you drilled with Cleveland. I never knew. Like I remember who's the man. We got the Cleveland move rolling. Muhammad. I remember the cadence and everything. So did you take your drill from Cleveland? Did you ever drill in Newark?
Yes, absolutely. So again, my drilling began in Cleveland, and then when I met my husband at Savior's Day in Detroit, we courted for think about maybe about a year, and it was a long courtship, about a year and a half or two. I'm not sure. He'd kill me if he knows, because he's better with dates than I am.
Yes,
but we eventually got married, and my husband moved to Cleveland. He's from New Jersey. And then when he was like, okay, we've been here long enough, it's time for me to make moves, and I can't do it here. I need to go back there to do it. So we moved back to New Jersey. We moved to New Jersey right after the Million Man March in 1996. So when I came to New Jersey, Mosque number 25, Mighty Mosque number 25, that's where I met Sister Alnisa in the Vanguard class, because I was, of course, a Vanguard age. I was in a Vanguard class, so I met them. And of course, they had drill here, so I joined the drill squad with the Vanguard in New Jersey, I'm sorry. And we drilled several times as well, yes. So I was in here as well.
Okay, I didn't know that. Praise be to Allah. My sister Brenda from Chicago says, so inspired. You're doing a wonderful job. She loves you so much. She's proud of you and your family. And thank you, Sister Brenda, for saying you're supportive of the podcast. And my sister Mimi says she never knew that you were on the Cleveland drill team. We definitely watched that a lot. Exactly. Okay, boom. My next question for you, ma'am, is, so you were Vanguard. How did you become the Vanguard captain in Jersey?
No, wasn't the Vanguard captain in Jersey. I was the Vanguard captain in Cleveland.
In Cleveland. Okay, boom. So how did that transpire?
Well, we were such a young mosque, and in my family, I guess we were probably the predominant family in the mosque. So I don't know. I guess they were asking, who wanted to be captains or what have you at that time, who would be best fit for it in that position. And I was there. So, just doing the work, basically. You do the work, people pull you out to be in certain positions and stuff like that. So it was just basically doing the work.
Praise be to Allah. What was it like for you the first time meeting the Most High Minister Farrakhan?
Oh, well, the first time I met him, it was actually in Cleveland. Gosh, I was young then. And I think that was the time my mother and they were serving the minister at that time. But I was really young at that time. I was like 15. So, I just remember seeing him. I didn't say anything to him. I think I pretty much froze up around him at that time because it was nothing to say. You were enamored just looking at him. But I think probably the most indelible impression that I would say with meeting and actually being in the presence of the minister was when he came to Newark, and I was in a student captain position at that time. And I had the opportunity to serve him several days, along with Sister Alnisa. She was in the suite as well. And just speak to him, just one-on-one. It was just talking like you're talking to your friend. Not that, I'm on a level to be his friend in any shape, fashion, or form.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's just the way that he was so personable. He was just like, he made you feel at such ease that that probably was the most impactful time of my being able to be in his presence and sharing conversations, dialogue with him. That was an honor.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And speaking of you said you moved after the Million Man March. How did the Million Man March impact you as a sister?
Well, when I was in Cleveland at the time, so I actually had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C., but I didn't go for the Million Man March. I went just because we had supplies that we had to bring that they were selling, at the Million Man March. So, I had an opportunity to be able to travel briefly for that. But my husband was in that number at the Million Man March. And I had my daughter Shakira at the time. I think Shakira was maybe 2 years old. And, she talked about, my dad was at the Million Man March or what have you. But, it was a blessing because, it was history in the making to see all those Black men and, the reason that they were there and the way that they came back home and changed lives, many lives.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And speaking of being in Newark, it's like one of the murder capitals of the East Coast. I'm just I was hear about the violence. Have you, as a woman, I mean, a Muslim, but have you ever faced fear being there? And if so, how did you overcome your fear?
No, I didn't. I know when I first initially moved here. Now it's different. Now you said Cleveland and Newark murder capitals, but but Cleveland was a whole different atmosphere from New Jersey. Um, when I left Cleveland and I moved here, I would like go to the supermarket, and at one time I saw a young brother was out there begging for change, and I felt so bad for him that I gave him some money and I brought him home, and I wanted to, give him a meal and everything. And my husband was like, "You can't do that here. It's not like Cleveland. You don't do that here in New Jersey because people got game here." So I had to kind of recondition my mind on some levels that, I can't be as nice as, you just got, I mean, you have to be a little cautious with things that you're doing to try to help people because they may have different motives than, what you're planning on doing. So, but I've never been fearful. When you with Muhammad, you don't fear anything. And we're MGT, Mighty Vanguard, and we got the Mighty FOI in our corner. So no, I've never had a fear of being in New Jersey. People ask, do you all feel kind of afraid to be in the neighborhood? Because the ice cream parlor it's in the South Ward. It's in a Black neighborhood. It's the neighborhood I live in. And I tell them no, because the average person that you see walking up and down the street, we know pretty much everybody. And the man that you see on the corner, he's the one that's going to respect us the most. So they give us the greetings as they're walking by, ask for the final call newspaper. And we've never really had a problem from anyone because, the name Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Sis Farrakhan, it's a standard there and people respect that.
Praise be to Allah. Now, speaking of your daughter that you spoke of earlier, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Well, I have 3 daughters. I have a stepdaughter, Sinasia, and I have Shakira is my second daughter, and then I have Saida, my baby girl. What advice would I give to mothers?
Yes, ma'am. Future mothers.
Future mothers. Love your children unconditionally. Be a protector for them. Strive to always be a good example. I know when I came into the mosque, as I mentioned before, we were a very young mosque. And my brothers, they were young, they got married young. And, they had their issues and stuff like that. But I prayed to Allah that when Allah blessed me to be able to find the husband that was for me, that he would bless our marriage to be a wonderful example of a married couple in Islam. So that's what I strove to do all these years. And thank Allah much. It's this year, it'll be 28 years for myself and my husband. I strove to just do that, to be a good example of what a married couple, a Muslim couple would look like, because people already had in their minds, you married so young. Why did you marry so young? And it's bound to, it's going to fail. It has to. So I wanted to prove that wrong. I wanted to prove that the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, under the guidance of the Honorable Minister Sis Farrakhan, is right and exact. Now, what we do with it, that's another thing. But if we live up to what the standards are, we follow the guidelines and everything, it can be beautiful. It can be as beautiful as you want it to be. So that's my message to upcoming mothers or new mothers. Just, strive to be the best person that you can be. And live your life, be a good example for your daughters, and pray to Allah that, he keeps them, protected, especially in this society. I pray every day and night for my girls, because you never know.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And what has been your greatest joy in your tenure in the nation?
Greatest joy? I probably, okay, so this going back to some history here. It probably would be during the time that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was on his Stop the Killing tours. And, you know, back when I came in the mosque at 15, the minister was always going on the road somewhere. So it's like every weekend we were traveling somewhere. But when I was in New Jersey and he was on tour, I was in the Vanguard class, and Sister Alnisa and I traveled a lot from city to city and called up, okay, we need the East Coast. We need you all to be able to travel during this time. And we were working, and we didn't care. At that time, it was like, look, a job where nothing else can hold me back. If the minister calls, that's my number one priority. And we dropped everything for that. So I was blessed, and Sister Anissa, we were blessed to be able to be on tour with your mother, Sister Sharifa, and that was, oh my God, that was an amazing time, because we had never been like that up and close and personable with her, like staying in a hotel and all of that, traveling on the road, picking up food, talking, having conversations. And when you get to the next stop, the minister's talking, and in his conversation, it's like he heard what you were saying. And we were like, okay, from now on, our lips are sealed. Because he is tuning into our thinking. But that probably was one of the best times, just being able to travel on the road with our beloved sister in that hour, and just, you know, picking up on the wisdom, and just, you know, it was just exciting. It was just exciting. It was a beautiful time.
Excellent. And what do you do for fun, ma'am?
What do I do for fun? What do I do for fun, Saida? I have my Saida, my baby daughter here. Guess said my what I do for fun. She said call her all day.
Yeah.
I told you I got to check up on you. I don't know. I mean, what I used to do for fun before this pandemic, travel. I love to travel. I love to go to LA. If I could move to another city, another state, it would be Los Angeles, because I love Los Angeles. I love the beaches. I love the water. And I just love the, you know, the sun, the vibe, the energy, all of that. So traveling will probably be what I love to do most.
Excellent. Well, I have two more questions for you, Sister Shikhana, but before I do, I want to make sure that I give a special shout out to the sponsors of the People's Podcast of this week, this month's episode. If you'd like to make a donation, who are watching, please cash out the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K drone and camera. He does television and film editing. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Make sure you all go get that. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. We love our tiny dancers. She's teaching ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Nations Auto Sales, LLC, out of St. Louis, Missouri. If you need a car or truck, you can make sure you get it done. Also, the MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Reach out to them. They're out of the Los Angeles area. Raising Black Millionaires, Sister Tia Muhammad. She teaches economic empowerment and development to young Black children through flashcards. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you all across this country. The Detroit Mecca Project, Brother Kamal out of Chicago. They're refurbishing and fixing up the community in Detroit to make it a safe and decent place to live. Thank you very much, Brother Kamal. Brother Chantel X, he hires truck drivers, pays them weekly, and they specialize in refrigeration. Thank you very much, Brother Chantel. The Real Hip Hop Network, you can get paid for your streams on their service. They have their own app. So if you want to get paid for your streams, reach out to the Real Hip Hop Network. Brother Jabbar Muhammad, Client First Construction, painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc. I'm coming right back to you, Sister Shikhana, and that's in the Chicago area and in the Memphis, Tennessee area. Hip Hop Detox, they do a lot of work in the community, especially in schools. They use music to help, music and a holistic approach to helping young people transform their life. Thank you very much. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Leg, Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services in Chicago. my father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, abdulsharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is on Amazon, No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon. This is Shikhana took a wonderful picture with when I first released the book. So I thank you very much, Shikhana, for always showing love and support. Okay, so Shikhana, can you please tell us again the address and how we can support you?
Salaam Ice Cream Parlor. The address is 1024 Bergen Street in Newark, New Jersey. Again, if you're in the area, you can stop through and support us. We're open daily from 12 to 6 p.m. during the winter hours, closed on Monday. If you want to just send a donation, you're out of town, you can Cash App, and it's Shikhana McKnight to Cash App. Now, Josh, I forgot to mention one other thing that we expanded in 2020. Okay. We expanded. So we opened up next to Salaam Ice Cream Parlor. It's a sweet shop, Newark. We specialize in candies, apparels, parties, gifts and things of that nature. So we also have Sweet Shop Newark, and we're on Instagram, Salaam_Ice Cream Parlor, and Sweet Shop Newark as well.
Okay, beautiful. All praises to Allah. Okay, now, Sister Shikhana, what type of music do you listen to?
Well, right now I'm listening. I'm not listening to him right now, but Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite artists. I love Lamar. I like all different types of music. Sometimes I'm in a mood for jazz. That's my husband mainly. He'll get on the phone with your uncle, Brother Jamil, and they'll start talking about the history of music. But I like jazz. I like different rap artists, but it has to be clean rap music, something that's, they're saying something, not rump shaking and all that stuff. But,
yes. Thank you, Auntie, for saying rump shaking. My God.
My favorite artist.
Okay, speaking of Kendrick Lamar, boom, he's right behind me right there. I had to put it. His album definitely made the wall. My uncle Jamil says best ice cream ever. He's proud of. Thank you very much, Uncle Jamil. My sister Miriam says so awesome. And Sister Shikhana, will you ever write a book on your life?
Probably not.
All that history. My goodness.
Probably not.
Yes, ma'am. Well, what would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
That I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Sis Farrakhan, Muhammad, and that she was a Muslim, and her word was bond.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. My Uncle Jamil says he took my moms to the Salaam on Bergen Street in 2017. Yes, we got the pictures. We saw the pictures of them together. Beautiful.
And she told me, she was like, I'm gonna tell you, she said, my children was like, if you don't go anywhere else, you better make it to the Salaam Ice Cream Parlor and support Shikhana.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So thank you all.
Yes, ma'am. Because my legacy of you will always be someone, ever since I was little, who every Savior's Day found your way to give me the greetings, no matter where I was at. So I appreciate that, Sister Shikhana, very much.
Allah.
Yes, ma'am. And please give your family the greetings. Continue the great work. Let's make sure we all support the Salaam Ice Cream Parlor in Jersey. In Newark, if you're there, pull up. If you're out of town, let's make sure we Cash App you and continue to show love and support to you. May Allah bless you and your family.
Likewise. Thank you, Josh.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.